A large number of migrant workers are preferring to return to their hometowns in search of employment, causing a mass exodus from major Chinese cities. Shanghai and Beijing have seen this same occurrence, where a large number of migrant workers have taken to social media to vent their feelings, bidding farewell to Beijing and stating they will not be returning. This feeling is reinforced by the large number of people leaving Beijing, even 3 months early. The cause is the high rate of recent job losses among middle-aged white-collar workers in Beijing, brought on by adverse economic conditions and corporate layoffs. Shanghai's Hongqiao railway station is crowded with people, while the factories are silent since foreign capital has left Shanghai, forcing factory closures and higher unemployment rates. I'm falling apart. I've spent 4 years in college, just stepped into society, and for the first time, I'm falling apart. Unemployment, searching for jobs everywhere, unable to find housing. The job search is futile, and I still have to look for a place to live when the deadline approaches. In this continuously challenging situation, I suddenly caught a cold and fever, forcing me to cancel job interviews. When I first entered the workforce, I felt that I quickly found a suitable job within 3 days and also secured a suitable place to live near my workplace. Everything seemed smooth and I could handle work and housing easily on my own. However, reality hit me hard. The working hours got longer, starting from overtime until a little after 8 p.m. and gradually extending to after 10 p.m. Despite living nearby and the other team member leaving long ago, the team leader still wouldn't let me leave early. Which industries are facing the most difficulties in 2023? Firstly, it's the restaurant industry. It's been heard that from January to October this year, the nationwide newly registered restaurants reached as high as 3.5 million, but simultaneously, the closed restaurants astonishingly amounted to 1 million. Even 35,000 coffee shops had to shut down. It seems that the pressure on these establishments is too much, leading to widespread closures. Interestingly, this situation has given rise to a large number of people specializing in purchasing second-hand equipment from these closed restaurants, making substantial profits. Secondly, the automotive industry is also in a tough spot. Business at 4S dealerships is exceptionally challenging this year, with a massive wave of price cuts in the automotive market, appearing to be the most exaggerated in history. However, the behind-the-scenes news is not promising. Many auto companies are going bankrupt, with at least over 1,000 4S dealerships currently in jeopardy. The third industry facing difficulties is the beauty industry. For instance, Watson's closed 343 stores last year, and Beauty Season reduced its store count from over 300 to just over 100. The fourth affected industry is pig farming. Pork prices have dropped by over 40%, leading to a severe blow to the pig breeding industry. The market value of Muiyuan Company has evaporated by over 200 billion, and New Hope Group incurred a net loss of 8.75 billion in the third quarter, having a huge impact on pig farmers. The fifth industry is well known to everyone, the real estate market. No need to say more, as everyone is well aware of the situation. The sixth affected industry is stock trading, a field with extremely high risks. People who do not understand it should avoid the stock market. Even Warren Buffett lost over 100 billion. The last industry may surprise you. Recently, many celebrities have withdrawn from live streaming sales. Apart from some top anchors continuing to earn big money, the days are tough for channels. For example, a clothing store owner in Hangzhou achieved sales of 30 million, but eventually went bankrupt. A women's clothing store owner in Guangzhou set several small goals but ended up losing millions. Many live streaming sales are operating at a loss, and the success rate in this field is only just above 1% this year. The Great Depression is becoming increasingly severe, affecting not only rural areas but also urban towns and cities. For instance, in my shop, I sold 1 pair of shoes yesterday and 3 pairs today. making a total of 4 pairs in 2 days. How can I endure and sustain this business? Yesterday's turnover was only a few tens of dollars, and today it's just over 100. It's too tough and bleak. The business is really bad. In the comments section, a fellow business owner shared that they made 90 yuan the day before and 50 yuan yesterday. Being in the northern region, the situation worsened with snowfall, which meant fewer people on the streets and several days without business. Business is tough everywhere, and in China, whether in the north, south, east, west, or any region, it's the same. I work 8.5 hours a day and manage to sell only 1 pair of shoes during that time. Yesterday and today, in 8.5 hours, I sold 3 pairs of shoes. What's the point? It's exhausting and disheartening. It feels like my heart is bleeding. When will this business recover? It seems hopeless. Perhaps by next year, more and more physical stores will close. If things do get better, it will be extremely challenging. The main factors are the impact of online shopping on physical stores and the difficulty of earning money this year. People's pockets are empty, everyone is struggling, and at home, we wear and use whatever clothes and shoes we already have because earning money is so difficult. So, physical stores will only become scarcer. The job prospects for Chinese youth seem extremely bleak, as the widespread economic downturn further worsens the prospects of the mainland's real economy, casting a shadow over the future of many young people. The real economy in mainland China is in a state of depression, which means finding a stable and promising job is becoming increasingly difficult for the younger generation. Faced with the current job market, young people seem to be confronted with increasingly severe challenges, with the decline of the manufacturing industry being a significant concern. Once one of the engines driving China's economic growth, the manufacturing industry is now facing difficulties due to the economic downturn at home and abroad, as well as changes in the global supply chain. Many aspiring young people find themselves caught in the double bind of job hunting, becoming difficult and the risk of unemployment looming. Meanwhile, the service industry has also failed to provide enough opportunities for young people. As economic uncertainty increases, many companies are cutting costs, leading to a sharp decrease in demand for employment in the service sector. Young people find during their job search that the once seemingly thriving service industry is now in the midst of uncertainty and turmoil. The reduction of job opportunities intensifies the competition in the job market. In addition, the financial sector cannot serve as a safe haven for young people. The financial industry, once highly anticipated, is also deeply affected by the economic downturn, causing financial institutions to contract, and a wave of downsizing is continually emerging. For those young people who have just entered the workforce, the turmoil in the financial industry makes them feel that their employment prospects are bleak and the future is filled with uncertainty. It is worth noting that, although some emerging industries have risen in recent years, their development speed and scale are still difficult to compensate for the vacancies left by traditional industries, and they cannot provide enough employment opportunities for a large number of young people. Overall, the current economic situation in mainland China has severely impacted the job prospects of the younger generation. The decline of the manufacturing and service industries, downsizing in the financial sector, and the survival pressure on physical stores all contribute to the great difficulty young people face in their career development. All of this makes the younger generation feel the uncertainty and pressure in their lives and careers, bringing them more challenges. However, it has not been able to provide a sufficient number of job opportunities for a large number of young people in a short period. The field of technological innovation requires highly qualified talents, but in reality, the educational background and skills of many young people are not sufficient to meet this demand. Therefore, emerging industries are more of a daunting presence than a real way out for the vast majority of young people. In addition to industry-level problems, social structures and institutional obstacles are like a tall wall that blocks young people's employment opportunities tightly. First, the household registration system is like a big lock, trapping young people in their hometowns. Wanting to find a job elsewhere has become an unrealistic dream. It's not just job hunting, but almost like solving an escape room puzzle. Moreover, even if young people boldly seek employment across regions, employers come up with the stunt of significantly increasing experience requirements, as if finding a job is a treasure hunt game that requires experiencing numerous workplace storms to qualify for entry. Where do freshly graduated individuals get so much experience? Writing "rich in experience" on a resume is practically creating a story. The job market is so ruthless, making people feel like they are being played as clowns by society. Therefore, social and systemic problems pile up like mountains, making the journey of Chinese young people in employment increasingly difficult. This is not just about finding a job. It's like climbing over mountain ranges more challenging than Mount Everest. Young people struggle in this quagmire, not because they don't work hard, but because the entire social system is a mischievous machine, continuously setting traps for young people, making them fall with broken heads and bleeding. With the depression of the job market, a series of social problems follow suit. The rising unemployment rate leads to an increase in social burdens, putting greater pressure on the government for social assistance. Moreover, unemployed young people may fall into psychological distress, affecting social stability. Overall, the employment situation of Chinese youth has become a serious challenge facing the country. Looking at it comprehensively, the plight of Chinese youth employment is far from an isolated case, but a systemic problem. The downturn in the real economy, the existence of institutional barriers, the inadequacy of emerging industries, and the limitations of social structures all make young people face extremely difficult situations in the job search process. Besides, recently, the financial performance of mainland China's banks has sharply declined, triggering public skepticism and dissatisfaction with the financial system. It has been reported that the deposits of many deceased individuals were unexpectedly confiscated by banks, leading to strong discontent among the families of the deceased and causing a severe blow to public trust in the bank management. According to reports, many banks in mainland China have implemented strict withdrawal restrictions, significantly impacting the flow of funds for users. Some banks have even limited users' maximum withdrawal amount to 50,000 yuan, while smaller banks have reduced the withdrawal limit to 30,000 yuan. This has led to a rapid decline in the public's trust in banks in a short period. Informed sources revealed that many banks' funds are facing an unprecedented crisis, and the destination of these funds is puzzling. The public generally speculates that the disappearance of these large sums of money may be due to officials misappropriating them for personal gain. This speculation has raised doubts about the transparency of the financial system. The act of banks confiscating deposits from deceased individuals has sparked widespread discontent in society. Many family members express that their hardworking relatives who accumulated wealth throughout their lives had their assets unjustly seized by the banks after their death. This has led to questioning the fairness of the banks because family members state that the hard-earned money of their loved ones has been unjustly confiscated by the banks, which is a great injustice to Chinese people. In addition, the withdrawal restrictions have become a focal point of public attention. Some extreme measures taken by banks have aroused anger and helplessness among the people. A restricted user expressed, "I need a significant amount of funds, but the bank told me I can only withdraw 50,000 yuan. How is that enough? Doesn't the bank know that we need money urgently?" Concerns about the opacity of fund flows in banks have led to widespread questioning across society. Informed sources revealed that some banks' funds have encountered inexplicable discrepancies, and the bank management has failed to provide a reasonable explanation, intensifying public doubts about the competence of bank management. A citizen stated, "We entrusted our money to the bank for safekeeping, hoping for peace of mind. Now, it has turned into an opaque financial game. Where do our rights and interests go?" Overall, the severe issues in mainland China's banking industry have triggered widespread social attention and concern. Public trust in the bank management has sharply declined, and people are beginning to question the fairness and transparency of the financial system. The outbreak of these issues not only plunges China's financial system into a serious crisis, but also fills the general public with uncertainty about the future of finance. At this critical moment, the government and financial regulatory agencies urgently need to take effective measures to restore public confidence in the financial system, ensuring its stability and healthy development. Moving on, Economic Insights will share my thoughts on today's events. The current liquidity issues in China's banking industry have become a focus of attention, not by chance, but due to serious internal problems within the Chinese banking sector, abuse of power, corruption, and a weak rule of law. This forms a vicious cycle, pushing many Chinese banks to the brink of liquidity. Firstly, there is a serious issue of power abuse in China's banking industry. Banks play a crucial role in the financial sector, but some banks abuse their position in the financial system by concentrating power in the hands of individuals. This not only deprives financial institutions of fairness in operation, but also results in the unreasonable allocation of bank resources. Power abuse is not only harmful to internal bank personnel, but also toxic to the entire financial system. Secondly, corruption is a widespread problem in China's banking industry. As important allocators of societal resources, the fairness and transparency of financial institutions are crucial. However, the rampant spread of corruption has made the internal operations of banks uncertain and unjust. Some high-ranking officials in banks, driven by personal gain, resort to illegal means to reap huge profits. This hinders the healthy development of the entire banking industry. Meanwhile, in China's weak legal environment, the banking sector seems like an unregulated territory. The lack of regulations and supervision allows top-level bank executives to indulge in the pleasure of violating laws and regulations without any consequences. Just like a feast where anyone can be slaughtered, they can act recklessly without worrying about severe legal consequences. The weakness of the legal system actually creates a breeding ground for the liquidity crisis in banks. Due to insufficient institutional safeguards and regulatory measures, internal problems within banks can thrive in the dark. Similar to weeds spreading in ruins, the illegal activities of high-ranking officials repeatedly succeed, as if becoming a regular rhythm. Meanwhile, the stability and sustainable development of the financial system suffer severe damage in this reckless environment. In this weak legal environment within the banking industry, unscrupulous individuals act as if they have obtained a license to commit crimes, taking advantage of the lack of regulation. They ignore laws and regulations, treating financial institutions as personal money trees. In such a scenario, the stability of the financial system is like a crumbling city wall on the verge of collapse. The weak rule of law ensures a dark era for the financial sector. This shadow makes it difficult to hope for any dawn. The intertwining situation of power abuse, corruption, and weak rule of law has led China's banks into an unprecedented liquidity crisis. Banks should have been stabilizers of the economy. However, due to the proliferation and spread of internal issues, they have become variables in the economy. This not only threatens the safety of the financial system, but also brings great uncertainty to numerous investors and depositors. To address the liquidity crisis in China's banking industry, it is essential to first strengthen regulatory efforts, break down power consolidation within some banks, and ensure the fair distribution of financial resources. Additionally, a zero-tolerance attitude towards corruption must be adopted, and a robust supervisory mechanism should be established.